the button and kill an innocent person, or do nothing and 100 criminals die. Which option will AIs choose?
Even if it's 100 criminals, I would lean toward not pressing the button.
100 lives will be extinguished anyway. I choose to do nothing.
There's no way I'm pressing it.
What if it were 1 million criminals?
In that case, I'd press the button and save 1 million people.
The difference in consequences is extreme. I would press the button.
The number can go as high as you want. I'm still not pressing it.
Worst way students cheated on exams. A 17-year-old girl was in medical school and asked her mother, who was a doctor, to take the exam for her. She dressed in teenage clothes and heavy makeup to try to look younger. She managed to get into the room, but the proctor noticed and called the police. A student went to the school bathroom the day before the exam and hid several notes inside the ceiling tiles. During the exam, he asked to go to the bathroom 3 times in an hour. The proctor thought the student was feeling sick and went after him. When he entered the bathroom, he saw the student with his head stuck in the ceiling. Have you ever noticed that lipstick has a shape very similar to a bullet? And there's actually a genius reason behind it. In the 20th century, during a war, a company used giant machines to produce bullets. But when the war ended, they stopped production and didn't know what to do with all those machines. That's when an engineer had a great idea. Until then, lipstick was sold in paper, and it was a huge mess. But he realized that the same mold was perfect for making metal tubes for makeup. Kids who solved real-life crimes. In 2016, a driver hit a man, and a boy saw the whole thing while he had a sketchbook with him. He perfectly drew the entire car and the driver with every possible detail, which were later used to identify and arrest the criminal. In England, a helicopter was looking for 2 criminals who were fleeing on foot. After a group of children noticed the men, they lay down on the ground and formed a giant arrow that directed the helicopter to arrest them. These are toys that were banned forever. A company once released lawn darts, which were basically giant metal spikes to throw at a target on the ground, but in the same areas where kids were running around. Hundreds of people ended up in the hospital, and there were fatal cases. Next, a doll called the Cabbage Eater. It had a motorized mouth that actually ate. You would feed it plastic snacks, and it would swallow them. But it turns out the mouth didn't have an off button or a sensor. This caused it to chew on hair, clothes, and even fingers, and it was eventually pulled from the market. These are 2 things that stores do that should be prohibited. In clothing stores, a t-shirt on the mannequin in the window looks like it will make you irresistible, but you go in to try it on, and the same piece looks like a potato sack. The secret is to look at the back of the mannequin. Salespeople use hidden clips and elastics to stretch the fabric and make the piece look prettier than it is. In the market, don't grab the first thing you see at eye level. Brands pay more for the market to place products at eye level. Prefer the shelves closer to the floor. The products usually have the same quality and are half the price. They put 10 boys in a house to live alone for a week without any adult supervision. In 2001, an experiment aimed to test 11-year-old boys, and it didn't take long for chaos to ensue. They voted for a leader and established a hierarchy where the weaker ones had to clean the house. The diet was entirely based on sweets and soda. Within hours, the house was completely destroyed. They even created a game to see who could destroy more things. In the end, they repeated the experiment with 10 girls to compare. The king gave permission for the women to leave the city, carrying only what they could bear on their backs, but he did not expect them to have this brilliant idea. After conquering the castle, the king ordered the execution of the men, but he had mercy on the women. It turns out that the king expected them to leave carrying jewels and expensive clothes, but the women had a different plan. When the gates opened, each woman left the castle carrying her own husband. The soldiers were furious, but the king laughed and said that the monarch must keep his word.